As many a mechanic has said, there's your problem. Hello and welcome to Lap of the World. I'm Richard, and if this is your first time watching, this channel is where I am currently slowly documenting my attempt to drive every road course in the world. Now, if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, please consider clicking the subscribe button with the bell below, and that way you will get a notification anytime I'm able to check another track off my list, or if, like today, I publish another video where I'm updating you on my vehicular world at large. Diving right in though, as many of you are aware, my primary conveyance for this project of mine has been my 1992 Acura NSX. It currently has 279,654 miles on it, and unfortunately right this second is in need of a bit of work. So I guess first things first, let's get some things changed around in here, and then I'll get stuck in and show you what's going on. Right, so we have the car all levitated at this point in time, a little bit higher than usual because of what I'm going to need to do. So first things first, let me jump around back and get on the floor a little bit, and I'll show you what's going on. Alright, so I return to you, awkwardly holding a trouble light and a GoPro underneath the NSX. And we're looking at the rear bank header flex pipe section, and as many a mechanic has said, there's your problem. So I'd noticed a bit of a, I don't know how to describe it, a whooshing noise, sort of just sounded like loud extra airflow from the back of the car under, heavy throttle conditions. And after getting in and looking at it, actually I noticed this, I had some suspicions when I was changing out the tailpipe. But it really kind of became evident after Memphis, and then I got under here and looked, and sure enough, there's a, it's completely disconnected. This is all the way around. If I, if I just unbolted these from the heads, they would probably just come off. I don't think I would even have to undo the, I wouldn't have to undo these other bolts that connect it to the cats. But anyhow, so that's what's going on. I don't know. The other, moving backwards here, the rear or the front flex pipe section looks in better shape. But given that they're exactly the same age and have recently been jiggled around exactly the same amount, I have suspicions. And really, it doesn't do me a whole lot of good to replace just one section of header. Now, what I explored doing, so kind of look into the rest of the car, which is, it's not the cleanest underside of an NSX you'll see, but then again, it's probably also one of the more driven undersides of an NSX that you'll see, so comes with the territory. But these, the headers that are on here, those were, like I think I said that before, those are pretty much eBay specials. I even partially traded for them. I didn't even buy them new off eBay. And they've lasted, for what it's worth, they've lasted 6 or 7 years of my kind of use, so I don't know that I can really say anything too bad about them. They fit, they're made out of stainless steel, and they piped exhaust into the cats and out the back of the car for a number of years before finally failing. Now that said, this is going to be a bit of a hassle, as you can no doubt tell. I'll zoom out here for a second. Alright, so here's a little bit of a wider angle. You can see the forward section of header right there. That goes all the way up the front side of the motor and connects to the head up there. And then the back section, you can't even really see it here, but it's honestly not that bad to get to. I'm not going to be able to get any of the bolts and stuff, I think, on camera, but if you look up in here, if you look up in here, you can kind of see where all that goes. So really, to get everything off, I'm probably going to have to, I'm going to have to drop the sway bar and get a few other things out of the way to facilitate removing the headers. And then apart from that, it's just being careful not to strip anything in the aluminum heads. Right, so that's where we sit. We have a nasty hole in at least the rear bank of headers. I don't trust the front bank of headers. And although I did take it down to a shop that I'm friendly with here, even with their expertise, they were not going to be able to actually do any repair on the car. I considered just replacing the flex section where the crack actually has occurred, because they make just flex pipes that you can buy and weld in. But unfortunately, there's just not there's not enough room to work back there, and the labor cost then inflates immensely once you start talking about paying someone to remove the headers, do the repair, and then put the headers back on. And once you kind of commit to that, then you're committed. And as it turned out, for less than that whole total of labor and parts cost for flex joints and things like that, for high quality flex joints, I was actually able to just find a replacement set of headers that is of significantly higher quality than what I had on the car. Now with the NSX, it's a little interesting when you start talking about exhaust and headers and things like that, because there's a huge spectrum of cost that you can get into with respect to replacing exhaust components. For headers in particular, you have on one end eBay crap for around $300 that will apparently last about 6 years of any kind of real abuse or driving, at which point it's going to fail spectacularly and you're going to have to replace it anyway. Or the other end of that is you could go and overnight parts from Japan. And then you're spending plural thousands of dollars. And that's... You guys know me well enough to know where this is going. That's not me. But fortunately, there are some middle grounds. Both the option that I went with and another option I considered are a good balance, I think, between, at least reputedly in the community. Obviously, I haven't had any of these on my car yet, so I can't speak from experience at this point. But the solution I ended up going with is from Pride Exhaust. Now, they are based in the United States, and they are actually, they have sponsored, been a sponsor of some level of NS Expo for at least the past couple of years, if not more. So it does kind of keep it in the family a little bit. It feels good, and their pricing is reasonable, and I think a really pretty good value considering what you get, which I will show you here in a moment. The other option I did look at was Science of Speed. They're always kind of a go-to for the NSX community for aftermarket parts. Unfortunately, they'd run into some logistical issues at the moment, so they did not have any of their usual, header offerings in stock at the time, although I have it on good authority they're working on that. Anyhow, though, I am not at all dissatisfied with my compromise, having looked over these things already, but let me do sort of a re-unboxing for you, and I'll show you what I ended up with here. Alright, so let's dig in here. What have we got? So I've already cut this open. Again, I've inspected the package when I received it just to be sure there weren't any issues. But what we have in here is pretty... So that's going to be the... Oh, this is going to be the rear bank here. As I'm going to throw them around and put a ding in one of them or something. Trying to unbox with one hand here. Hopefully they're not cringing too much. Yeah. Look at that. Now, I'll get these on the bench here in a second and show you why I'm pretty stoked. And actually one of the big selling points for me with this kit. So give me just a second here. I'm going to get the rest of the stuff out of the box with two hands. I'll put it on the bench and show you what we got. Alright, so we have everything unboxed. The two main header sections, which are those are your big bucks right there. Those are both made out of stainless steel. Both look really nice. The welds on these look really pretty. In addition, you get some of the other small stuff here. This is an O2 sensor extension, whereas if you're converting this from a car with stock exhaust to a car with headers, you need an extension for the O2 sensor harness to get it to where it needs to go. I probably won't use that because I already have headers and therefore already had O2 sensor extensions. So I'm set there. You get your gaskets over here. And then all of your sort of connecting hardware, your sort of intermediate pipes that connect to make the final connection to the catalytic converters. And that's kind of where the, what really was the selling point to me for this kit came in. And it's that you'll note nowhere on this table is there a single flex joint or accordion pipe of any kind. And because that's what failed on my existing setup, and that does seem to me like it is a weak point. Having done some reading, that I think I'm statistically vindicated in my feeling there. So instead, what you have are these, like, I don't know what you call them. They're kind of like a hybrid. They're not really it's not a full-on V-band joint like I have on the Lamborghini, but it has these like donut gaskets here that fit inside a cone, and then you connect them using these. This is where your flex comes from, as far as your ability for this thing to kind of like, rotate a little bit and position itself to match up with, to do two things really, both, match up to the invariable sort of fudge factor of where things are positioned in any individual car. Which exhaust setup do you have? How does that angle the, the catalytic converters and things like that, as well as just accounting for the, since you have the tailpipe sections that are fixed to the body or fixed to the chassis / body of the car, and you have the engine, which is on a rubber mounts, and then the engine will torque a little bit as you rev it, or as you apply engine braking or something like that. It's gonna, it tends to tilt the engine one way or the other, and you have to have a flexible, a joint that allows some wiggle there. Otherwise, if you just hard piped it all the way back and attached the rear section to the chassis and the front section to the engine, you'd end up with something cracking or failing along the way pretty quickly. So, by virtue of the fact that this does appear to be pretty well made at first blush, we'll test fitment once I get that far. But it also eliminates the point of failure that I've experienced with my existing setup. That was a big plus for me, in addition to them being priced completely reasonably, I think, for what I would expect from a quality product. No sponsorship here at all. I'm just reporting it as I see it and telling you what I've done. So with that said, I am going to go get underneath the car and start working. Okay, so we are back under the rear end of the car to get started on what we're going to do here to change out these headers. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do, first two things I'm going to do, is I'm going to completely remove the sway bar. Now, you might be able to get by just disconnecting it from the, dropping it off the middle and letting it hang down. That might give you the clearance you would need to drop the rear bank headers, but that seems like it's probably going to be a huge pain, so I'm just going to remove the sway bar and get it out of the way. That's not really that difficult in operation, so I kind of have my mentality is, I can end up having to like wiggle things around and swear a lot and pinch my fingers later, or I can just take a few extra minutes and move something else out of the way and make my life a lot easier. The other thing I'm going to do, and this is going to be done, I'll be full disclosure here, I'm not doing this in one sitting. This is going to be done over probably 2 days. So 2 different wrenching sessions, if you will. Because the other thing I'm going to do is these bolts right here that connect the catalytic converter to the headers, those exhaust bolts have been there since the headers have been on the car, so 6 or 7 years. And same thing for the ones up here. Those guys, right about there. They've been on there for 6 or 7 years. They're no doubt very crusty at this point. So I'm going to take my can of penetrating lube down there and hit them with that and let them marinate overnight. And then that will hopefully mean I'll have less... I know better than to even try it without doing that. Even my prior experience with the exhaust on both this car and my old MR2. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and I will get that knocked out, and then I will come back to you when I actually have more things to take apart that hopefully aren't quite as seized as I anticipate they may be.